China's military operates behind an especially thick veil of secrecy, which can make it difficult to filter fact from fiction. By sheer troop numbers, China has the world's largest military, with 2.3 million active personnel, and it's second only to the U.S. in military spending. That's due to consistent 10% growth in China's defense budget in each of the last 15 years. It's increased tenfold in the last quarter century, though rapid inflation means that growth isn't quite as impressive as it sounds. China's military has been described as a black box, but here's what the outside world does know about it. Despite its high troop count, what China packs in manpower, it lacks in heavy equipment and weaponry. It has only one tank division. And at sea, its navy is growing, but still far from dominant in the Pacific. It boasts one active aircraft carrier to America's 10 active carriers, and its nuclear submarines total only a tenth of the U.S. fleet. In the air, the Chengdu J-7 has long been China's go-to fighter plane, though it's now being phased out. The nation's 3,000 combat aircraft match Russia's air power and number, but total less than a quarter of the U.S. force. Looking again at China's military spending, inflation cuts away at much of the double-digit growth observers have been pointing to for years. 2010's the most notable example. That year saw a 7.8% rise in defense spending, but also a 6.7% inflation rate, meaning a real net gain of just more than 1%. There's also a question of how much impact that spending has. Unlike military powers of the West, China is surrounded by both unstable states like Pakistan and North Korea, and historical enemies like India, Japan, and the myriad Southeast Asian nations who are all pushing for the same slice of the South China Sea. So as the Far East power keeps feeding its military machine, much of its resources will go toward protecting and expanding its borders.